Hey, welcome everyone to this week's live podcast. I'm Lee from Play Guitar Podcast, and we're going to start in a few minutes with the blues licks. Just wanted to say hi to the people in the chat who are hanging out before we get started. This was a topic that was chosen by the Academy members yesterday. I was getting ready to do the lick episode and was wondering what we would like to do, and everybody said more blues stuff. So I have a few ideas about this. I was going to do some simple licks, and today I'm doing those kind of pedal tone, but also double stop just means whenever there's two notes being played at the same time. You hear these licks all the time, and it was fun for you. I've already got it in the can for you, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the podcast right now, and then after the podcast, I'm open for questions or whatever you want to do. We can just hang out, but I just want to say hi to everybody before we get started. Coke is here. Hey, he's been working on double stops. Cool. Jim. Hey, Jim, how you doing today? Great to see you. David's here. Great to see you, David. Evan's here. Awesome. Hi, Dean. How you doing today? And Jason is here. Great to see you, Jason. And Dino's here as well. And for everyone else who may be here but not in the chat, welcome. What we're going to do is get started. These are in the key of G. Now, if you would like to play along with the podcast, head on over to freeblueslesson.com. And in my blues course, that's where I house all of these lick episode PDFs. I had to learn a new program today to get this one to work at the last minute because mine wasn't working well there. So, but it's all ready for everyone. Evan says I try them pretty regularly, right? So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started with the podcast right now. How do you play those shimmery blues double stop licks? It's easy. Just check out today's guitar lick episode for double stop licks in every pattern of the minor pentatonic scale. So stay tuned. Hello and welcome, friends, to episode 175 of the Play Guitar Podcast. I'm Lee, and this is the podcast that's determined to make you a better guitar player. No matter if you're just starting out, you've been playing for years, this is the show that will help you become the guitarist that you always wanted to be. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the podcast and check out the description for all of the links from the show. And this episode is brought to you by Play Guitar Academy, where you learn the right skills at the right time, in the right order, to put guitar frustration in your past. Okay, let's introduce this lick episode. I wanted to do some of those cool, shimmery, double stop, or almost like pedal tone blues licks that you hear sprinkled in through your favorite guitar players, solos. And today I thought, well, I want to keep them easy, but I want to also give you something good for your playing, and that is spreading them out into all 5 patterns of the minor pentatonic scale. So we're not just in one pattern, we're all over the place. We're going to see these in all the different shapes that we have. And what are these things? These are when you play 2 notes at once. And I almost call this double stop lines because you get this kind of, in fact, this is one of the first ones here, where you hear, and turn that up a little bit, where you hear one line going along riff and the other note kind of staying still and adding harmony as these licks go ahead. Now, if this is the first time you've heard one of the lick episodes, you can head on over to freeblueslesson.com. That's where I have my free blues soloing course. And what happens is after the course, I've got a whole section that has all of the different licks from all of the different lick episodes from this year. And I also have the background track that we're going to be playing along with this. So I'm going to go ahead and load up the background track as we're talking here. Here we go. And Let's take a listen to it real quick. Get some levels here. So just a standard 12 bar blues. And what I'm going to do now as it's playing, so I'm going to play our lick number 1. Okay, let me go ahead and shut that off there. Let's talk about this. So we're basically in pattern 1, the 1 4 1 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4, the one that we all learned in the beginning. We're starting on the root note. That's the 5th fret of the D string. 5 3 5 on G, 6 on the G for that blues scale sound. Back on those same notes. Back to the 5 on the D note, and then end on a 3 on the G string. A fine lick as it would be played just regularly. But what we're going to do for every single note there, I've got my first finger barring and touching the high E string at the 3rd fret. And on my picking hand, let me see if I can get a better close-up of that. On my picking hand, I'm picking the low note, the one that moves, and I'm plucking with my middle finger the barred high note. So we have 2 lines going at the same time. One is like a pedal tone. It just stays the same throughout that, and one moves. So neat lick. You can add to this too. You don't have to. I played it the same way through the entire progression, but you could hang on the notes, add some single notes in there with them. It's a really nice riff. So let's take a look at the second lick as well. So our second lick, it's over pattern 2. So we're going to have, I'm going to close up this as well. We're going to have our pinky playing at the 8th fret on the B string. That's going to be our double stop kind of pedal tone note, right? So the line is low. That's at the 5th fret on the D string, 8th fret on D string, 5th fret on the 5th fret on the A string, 8th fret on the A string, to the D string, 5th fret and 8th fret, and back to the A, 8th on the A, on the D, on the A string, and then there we go. This is a neat sound. I'm actually doing a big stretch between my first finger and my 3rd finger to get this kind of space of 4 for. Let's hear it with the background track. Adding a little bit to it. Very similar to the first one. We have that same note. Even though I'm playing it in a different place, it's that G on the top. But that doesn't last. We're going to move on to lick number 3. And this is in pattern 3 here. So pattern 3. Okay, so pattern 3, here's the close-up. Now we're doing the same idea, but this time we have a C that's at the top. Start on the 10th fret on the A string, 8th fret on the D, 10th fret on the D, 11th fret on the D, and then we go back through those notes. But on top of every one of those notes, we have that high C. That's the 8th fret on the high E string going at the same time. And I'm doing the same picking where I'm plucking the high string and I'm picking the low string. And here it is exactly as written. All right, let's play that along with our background track. 1, 2, 3. One more time. I kind of play with the rhythm a little bit there. You can. A lot of different things that you could do with that lick. It's a lot of fun. And we've got two more. We got 2 more patterns and 2 more licks for each of those patterns. Now we're at pattern 4. And let's see here. We've got 12th fret on the D string is all right, let me close up for that. One more time. So what we're doing is we have the pinky on the 13th fret of the high E string all the way up, and we're in pattern 4 of the G minor pentatonic. We're going to start, let's see here, on the D string at the 12th fret. And here's the lower notes, 12 and then 10, 12 on G. Then we have 11th fret on the B string bending. Hear that dissonant sound against the 13th fret. Now we're going to do 2 13th frets, but the one on the B string bends. Repeat 11s, 13s. And then we have the 13 on the high E string along with the 12th fret on the G string. All right, let's play that along with the background track. One, two, three. One more time. Again. And I mess around. Added some bends, some different rhythms, all sorts of different ways that you can dress those up. And we have one last lick for you today. And this is up on pattern 5 for G, which is up around the 12th fret. Let's see here. So we have our 15s. And what we're going to do is we're going to have our pinky on the 15th fret of the high E string. That's going to be our double stop pedal tone. There it is. Ready, go. Let me close up that for you. without the background track, it sounds like the Batman theme almost. But what we're going to do is we're going to play it with our blues background track. Let's hear what it sounds like. 2. Okay, so I messed around with it a little bit at the end, adding some different ideas in there, put some regular single notes in there, along with the double stops. There's the 5 licks. This is a lot of fun. For me, I love this kind of stuff. I always sprinkle these type of licks throughout my leads every time I play blues, and I hope you have a lot of fun with these as well. And make sure, if you're interested in taking your blues soloing to the next level, to head on over to freeblueslesson.com. That's my course called Get Your Blues Solos Under Control, and it's the 6 steps to really tightening up your blues soloing and making sense of all of that. Okay, so thank you for hanging out with me today for this lick episode. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to call it. That's a wrap. Thanks for joining me today for Play Guitar Podcast. Make sure to hit the button below, subscribe to this show. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the notification bell. And that way you can get all of my content as soon as it comes out. Are you ready to fill in all the cracks and use my roadmap to get your playing moving forward again? If so, I'm ready to help. Head on over to playguitaracademy.com. Thanks again, and I will see you on the next episode. Hey, I'm back. What's happening, man? Yeah, that turned out pretty good. I was having fun checking it out while you guys are checking it out right there. I recorded that just a few minutes before we went live. We've had a couple folks hop in the chat as we were going through. Let's see here. Matt's here. Hey, Matt, how are you doing today? Chris. Yo, Chris. Let's see here. Matthew's here. Hey, Matthew. Great to see you. Facebook users here. Thank you, Facebook user. Chris says, gotta love the double stops. And a great idea for episode and lick week. Yeah, as I was sitting down, I was going to do some easy blues licks, and I thought I wanted to add something a little bit more fun to it than that. So that's what came out, and it actually turned out pretty good. I was enjoying that. Dino says, is there tab up for these licks in the notes? The tabs are in the free blues course, Get Your Blues Solos Under Control. I think, Dino, you have that. I'm not sure. If not, I can add you to that, but it's where all the other tabs are for these lick episodes. It's just at the end of the course right there. Chris said, just click the like. Oh, and also, hey, Dino, how you doing? Just click the like. Thank you for everyone for clicking the like. I appreciate that. We're going to start pushing the YouTube a little bit more in the near future. Let's see here. Jason said, that was a great whole new experience watching with my guitar. Normally I'm in my car or at work. Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different but you know what? Even those times when you don't have your guitar, and I've listened to these too. I listen back to the podcast episodes usually the next morning, and a lot of times I can visualize where these scales are and these things are, and that's not bad too. But nothing takes the place of actually sitting down and being able to jam along with it too. So that's awesome, Jason. Thank you for that. So we're gonna hang out a little bit. See how everybody's doing. Let's see. I got to see David a little bit earlier, and Evan was there too. We had a bunch of folks. And let's see here. Dino says, yes, thanks. Yes, I have it. Good. That's good. Any examples of artists that use a lot of double stops? Well, this is kind of, you've got double stops and pedal tones, right? Pedal tones normally are thought of like kind of alternating a drone note. And then I've also seen blues style where they call it pedal tones, where they'll have like a low note going. Well, where they will have a low string droning while they play other notes on top of it too. But this really isn't that. I've never really heard the exact name for this. It's really double stops. But, a lot of the double stops you hear is kind of like, the major kind of things. But when you use it with the minor pentatonic, that's why I wanted to call it double stop lines. But I'm not sure people would have known what I was talking about for that. So I just went straight for double stops right there. Jim says, love the Lixley, had sort of a jazz blues feeling, especially in 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, and what in one, I'm looking at 1, 2, and 3 right now. The octave is a big part of that, of this, which is can be a jazzy type sound, but I've also used the flat 5, the sharp 4, the blue note, right? So there's a little bit of jazziness in that too. So you're correct with that. I liked pattern 2. I really like. Let's see here. What was? Oh, so really, really. I can't close up with this set. It's kind of not a standard way of playing pattern 2. Having that pinky holding this out, and you see how I have my hand kind of crane like that, but it's a neat sound. Okay. But thank you, Jim. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Kevin says, closing out a stressful work day with some blues licks. Yeah, they're fun, man. It feels good. This is some feel-good music that we're playing here. Chris says, double stops always jump out when you play them. Like, whoa, this guy knows what he's doing. Yeah, and they're really not. It's really, it could be a little difficult at first, just physically playing these. But once you do it a few times, it's not that difficult at all. And you start to realize, hey, I can go up and down the scale, and it even just going up and down the scale sounds good when you've got that upper note harmonizing with it. Chris says, got to drop in a lead line for a change of pace too, maybe. Yeah. These, I wouldn't play a solo with all of these in a row like that. As I was getting to the end of the episode, I was getting a little fatigued of hearing that all the time. It's a good feature. A lot of the coaching students in the past 2 weeks, we do a lot of improv every week, and at some point in the improv, it's you're getting the idea, you understand how to do it. We're targeting chord tones, getting all of those different things, but at some point, we start to refine them and start to make them start dealing more with about making them listenable than actually just being able to play. And one of the things is having the big note, something that you build towards, something that features. And this would be a great sound to be featured in any kind of a solo, but a blues solo as well. Matthew says, I'm a bit of a noob trying to figure out what they were. Yeah, a lot of times you'll hear something, and if it's not just one note after the next note, it takes a minute or two to get it, but you'll get it. You'll hear these things. Yeah, and they're not too difficult. And the more you play them, a lot of the country, that kind of pedal steel kind of stuff too. It's similar to these things, but Chris says, I meant good to drop in for a change of pace. Not That's okay. No problem, man. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Chris. So this is what, I wasn't sure how today was going to come out, but I like this. I enjoyed this. And I think, a lot of people will have some fun with these. Had to use, like I said before, a different program. My Guitar Pro has decided not to work for me. So really quickly, I went and got the backup version and got it there on time. So that was good. Okay, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. That was a lot of fun. And I hope you guys have a good time with the licks this week. Next week, Scooter will be joining me, and we will be doing some more acoustic stuff. And we have a lot going on in the Academy as well. I'm going live every day in the Academy sometime between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Just answering questions and, what's going on in the Academy. And that's been a lot of fun, seeing a lot of friendly faces there too. I'm doing it live with a chat as well. So a little bit interactive there. And so things are going good. Everything's kind of slowing down. For about a month there, everything was got a little hectic, but things are slowing down now. So thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. And I will, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to get in touch with me throughout the week. I'll be available through email all week. Chris said, nice one, Lee. Have a good one. And to everyone else too. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.